Why me? Why me, Lord? I've worked hard all my life. I've done the best I can for people. I've served my country. I'm a good person. Why me? That was me 10 years ago, laid in bed, back in a single bed, back at my mum and dad's house. Split up from a relationship, walked out 3 o'clock in the morning, had enough. Went back there, £30,000 in debt, failing as a driving instructor. Life just had to change. I'd completely had enough. And I blamed the man upstairs. Do you know what? Because back then I didn't realise it were all my fault. I'd created that entire situation. I'd created the world around me. But it was someone else's fault. And the only person I could point the finger at was God. Now, you may not believe in God. You may not have that belief. You may believe in the solar system, the universe, the law of attraction. But whatever you believe in, produce that card the very next day. Now, I didn't realise at the time that that card was going to change my life. My brother came, knocking on my door. He says, "Here, Kev, I've just found this card stuck on my foot at IKEA." I went, "Brilliant." He says, "You're struggling financially." He says, "Why don't you give it a ring, see if you can make 50 quid a week?" As soon as he walked out of the door, it went in the bin. All right? But God, or whatever you believe in, made sure that card ended up in my hand again the next day. My brother came round, saw the card in the bin, and said, "What are you doing, Kev? Why have you thrown that in the bin? Did you give it a ring?" I said, "No, it's a scam." He says, "How do you know?" I says, "Who on earth is going to advertise that you can earn £3,000 a month on a piece of card? It'd be on TV, it'd be on the radio, it'd be on a billboard, it'd be all over the place, not on a piece of card stuck at your foot at IKEA." The best advice my brother ever gave me was, give it a ring. He says, make your own mind up. Find out, get the facts, get the information, and then decide. If it is a scam, throw it back in the bin. So I phoned up, left my details on an answering machine, which I thought were really dodgy, and got this information pack through the post a couple of days later. Opened it up, rocket science. I just couldn't work out what it was. I'd never heard of Clean Easy. There were all these stories and testimonials with people with checks and one thing or another. I thought, this is great. They're earning money, but what is it? So I went to my mum. She went, "I don't know." I went to my dad. He went, "I don't know." I went to my brother. He went, "It's Clean Easy, that catalogue thing. Chuck it in bin." So I did. All right. 2 days later, gets this phone call. This guy says, this guy says, "You responded to an advert. Did you get the information pack?" I went, "Oh, it's Clean Easy, mate." I says, "I'm a driving instructor. I've got letters after my name. I'm not delivering and collecting catalogues for a couple of £100 a month." I says, "It's too much like hard work for too little money." He says, "What do you think about the other side of the business?" I went, "What other side?" He says, "I'll tell you what, I'll send you a DVD, video at the time. I'll send you a video through the post." I watched that video and I saw people earning thousands of pounds a month. I was sceptical, but I thought there's got to be an element of truth in that. Okay? Surely there has to be some truth, otherwise they'd have all been arrested by now. All right? So, I rang up, the guy came to see me, I saw the circles, and I thought, great, I can sit on my backside for the rest of my life and make a fortune. And that's honestly what I thought. I thought, I have to work hard, get these 10 people together, and then I can sit on my backside, because I was lazy back then. That's why I was 30 grand in debt. I was good at spending money, but I didn't work as hard as what I could have done. I wasn't very good at generating money. Okay? Within my first 4 weeks, I got to £233. That was my check in my first 4 weeks, £233. I thought, fantastic, this thing works. For the next 6 months, I was earning between £300 and £400 for the next 6 months. Working 8 to 12, 15 hours a week in between driving lessons. Went along to the Clean Easy showcase. I can't remember what it was called back then, but went along to the Clean Easy conference in Birmingham 6 months later and saw 5,000 people from all walks of life earning all kinds of income. And the top earners were earning over £300,000 a year. And I thought, if I could make a fraction of what them people are earning, that would turn my life around. Okay? So I thought, if I can make £1,000 a month alongside my job, that would be absolutely brilliant. Within 6 months, within the first 18 months of joining Clean Easy, I went gold distributor. Absolutely fantastic, earning £1,000 a month. Started slacking off on the driving because I could see my future lied in Clean Easy. Went senior, Went bronze for Cannes and did the double, got Cannes and Phuket, went bronze, and then I lost my 2 gold legs over the next few months and went back down. I could have quit, but it never even crossed my mind, because I thought, as long as I don't quit, I can always win. It doesn't matter what other people in your team do, it's what you do. And for the next few years, I plateaued, earning around about £1,000 a month. A bit of confidence knocked, but I kept going on, I found lead generation really hard. I loved the business. I loved Clean Easy. I could see the future. I loved the industry. I didn't love myself. I didn't believe in myself. I didn't believe I could make this thing work. So what changed? About 3 years ago is when it all really started to change for me. And the first thing that changed was personal development. Over those years, I'd been reading bits and pieces of books, nothing consistent. How many people's like that? How many people aren't consistently reading? That changed, guys. And as soon as that changed, my life started to change. It was like a safe being unlocked in my head. It was like, you know the dial on the front of a safe? You clicked it left, something fell into place. You clicked it right, something else fell into place. And it kept going back and forth, and then all of a sudden there was just this cascade of information. It all just seemed to drop into place, all at the right time. And it was from the seminars I'd attended, it was from the books I'd read, it was from the CDs that I'd been listening to, and seminars outside of Clean Easy, Tony Robbins, Danny Johnson, Alan Pease. Get as much wealth of information as you can. What started to change then? Because I started to believe in myself, and I thought there's got to be another way. And then all of a sudden, we started generating leads on the internet. Now, I came in off a card. Cards and flyers work, guys. They absolutely work 100%. Of course they work. Most of the businesses in this business have been built on cards, flyers, shop ads. But so do horses. How many of you have a horse tied up outside? You came on a car. Things change, things evolve. Still use cards and flyers, but get to know how to use the internet. This business, to me, and this is only my opinion, I love this business massively and I love the people in it. This business to me now is more working from home, part-time, as it ever has been. And that's the label that we sell it on. Okay? We say to people, you can earn money working part-time from home. Well, that's exactly what I do. 25, 30 hours a week, and I'm earning £2,500 a month. I go dancing on a Tuesday night, I do other things, I've started going running, I've got time to fit my life into my life. And I'm following my values and what's important to me while still building a clean, easy business. Because lead generation now is so achievable on the internet. Then you've got to learn the skill of coaching, duplication and leadership. First of all, you've got to build a team yourself. You've got to learn how to drive your vehicle. How many of you here can drive a car? Okay, get them hands high. How many of you, truthfully and honestly, could teach someone else how to drive to the level they could pass the driving test? Because you can build a clean, easy business doesn't mean you can teach somebody else how to do it. Because you go into unconsciously competent mode, you start doing it without thinking about it. But you've got to be able to transfer that information onto somebody else. First of all, get competent at building your business, 10 to 15 wide. Get the people plugged into the system, get your business built, and then learn how to teach it on to others. In the meantime, the system will teach the people in your team how to build their business by getting them on the webinars, by getting them to the conference calls, by getting them to these seminars. My short-term goals, my name is on the executive cup, so don't bother any of you, all right? That is mine, all right? That is mine. It's December 2012, and I'm turning over £150,000 per annum. At the moment, I'm turning over £47,000 per annum, per period, sorry. What am I talking about? £47,000 per period. That is one big, airy, audacious goal, as, go on, I can't remember his name, would say. It's December 2012, and I am SED, okay? I'm not there at the moment, but in December 2012, I am. Notice how them goals are wrote in the present tense. It's what I say to myself every day when I sit at my computer and look at them that's stuck on my wall around the monitor. How have I got to where I am? Well, first of all, none of this would have been possible without Clean Easy. And I really want to say a huge thank you to Clean Easy and what they've provided me. The nursery, the nurturing ground to learn how to become a better person, from being a chav in poverty to somebody that feels like they're actually going somewhere in life now, feels like they've got a future. Okay? I'd also like to say thank you to Neil Young for being there, giving me the boot at the backside when I needed it and a good dressing down when I needed it as well. Because I did have arrogance. I do sometimes still have arrogance. I am cocky. I know where I'm going. I believe in myself. And sometimes it needs putting in check. And thank you, Neil, for being there to show me the right way and get me back on track. I'd also like to say a massive thank you to Abigail Coakley. It's been my rock throughout this whole business. We've worked fantastically as a team. She's my best friend and business partner, and she's an absolute star. And I'd also like to say a massive thank you to my team, because without my team, I wouldn't be here whatsoever. And there's some fantastic leaders and people coming through in that business that's going to make awesome coaches and awesome business development people for the Clean Easy future. And I'm so excited about their future, my future, and your futures. It's absolutely amazing business to be in. And that remains one thing left to say. Now is the time to step up. Thank you.